growing up in the foster care, without, your mom was your mom still around at that time?
Yes, my mom was alive. So the entire time my mom was trying to get us back. But like I said, it was already hard for her. She was dealing with schizophrenia, her medication, like anything could go wrong when it came to my mom.
Through this show, we strive to create a world where young individuals feel empowered to express themselves, where educators and students become partners in shaping the future, and where parents and young adults build bridges of understanding the span of generations. We aim to create a society where everyone's voice is heard, valued, and respected. Welcome to Coach's Corner. What's up? What's up? This is Coach's Corner, and you already know this is your host, Coach Cordell. We got another special episode. Yeah, I'm excited to have this guest on. Jamie.
Hello.
Jamie, 21-year-old college student. Boy, when you hear her story, we about to go crazy. Jamie, what's up, man? Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Thank you. So we're going to get right into it, okay? Tell the viewers, who are you? Where did you come from? Let's start at the beginning, at your young age. Let's start there. Let's get to know you right now.
Okay, so of course, my name is Jammy Harris. I'm 21. I attend Fresno State majoring in social work. A little bit about me is I grew up in the foster system since about 12, I would say, 12, 13-ish. I was in the 6th grade. And I ended up in the foster care system because I lost my father, and my oldest brother wasn't able to take care of me and my younger brother. So from there, we had to grow up in the foster system and maneuver our way through life.
Foster. I just, where was your mom at this time?
So for a little bit, we stayed with my mom after my father passed, but she dealt with mental health issues and mainly schizophrenia, which made it hard for her to basically take care of me and my siblings. Got you.
Mm-hmm. So middle school, that's when your life kind of did a 360 turn for you, right?
No, well, my life changed in a 360 when my father passed away. I was 9 years old, and I lived with him at the time. I was like a daddy's girl, honestly. And when he passed, it put my whole family in a weird place, and it broke my mom. It really did. And her support wasn't there, and she had to take care of all of us by herself. So from there, she was taking care of us. But like I said, she dealt with schizophrenia, which made it very hard for her to take care of all of us. In total, it was 4. So me and my younger brother ended up moving with my brother. And then he learned that we were a little hard to deal with because we had trauma and we had things that he honestly wasn't. I feel like he wasn't completely capable of taking care of us because he did work a lot as well. So he wasn't able to support us in the ways that he wanted to. So that's why we ended up going into the foster system, because he felt like we were going to be a little bit more supported. And I'm pretty sure he wanted what was best for us, not knowing that that was probably going to be the hardest part of our lives.
9 years old. My daughter's is 9 right now. So I can just imagine them losing me and just going through that time of life, especially as a female, right? Mm-hmm. And your first love should be your father, right? And so as that happened, you're going through foster care. How many different schools did you go to? How was the schooling when you was growing up in that time?
I feel like I moved schools like okay amount of times. I think they tried to make sure I stayed at the same school no matter how many foster homes I moved. Within like about the first year and a half, I went through like 7 foster homes. So it was a lot, and I was like running on thin ice with the system, I would say, because of the trauma and because of things that I was dealing with mentally and just trying to be a bigger sister for my brother. But it was hard. I felt like I was under pressure because I am only 1 year older than my brother, but I was a bigger sister to him, someone to look up to. So at the time, I wanted to cry, and it was like, no, you can't cry right now. You have to be strong for your younger brother and kind of like make a way for yourself.
So did you have anybody like at the school where they became like a mentor or somebody you can go talk to, or was it just like were you really guarded? Like, how was that for school for you?
Definitely was hard for me to open up. Sixth grade, I remember kind of like a social worker being there. She would like constantly like check in with me, see how I was doing. So that was nice, but I feel like I didn't have a lot of trust in people because I dealt with like neglect and dealt with other things that just made it very hard. It was just hard to open up or be around people. Even going towards middle school, I would say, I think it was people outside of school that actually helped me get through it, probably until high school. I feel like that's when I created a support system at school that was like, we're for Jamie, you know, so.
Wow. So like before we get too further in there, I always like to talk about middle school, especially with the young adults, right? Because the middle school phase in life is almost like, who am I? Where do I need, like, what group I want to hang out with? So your middle school life was like, did you care about that? Like who I wanted to hang out with? Were you just...
Oh, well, yes. Me and I would say my foster siblings were very known in middle school. I feel like a lot of people attracted to us because we were different and we always stuck together. I think we always got in trouble together as well. So we were also known for that. I think middle school created someone who loved hair. I loved hair in middle school. I used to change it up practically every day. Wow. I had friends who would, we want to rate this hairstyle, or they'd be like, can you do this with your hair? Or I went to Sanger, I went to WAMS, Washington Academy Middle School, so it was a little bit different out there.
Yeah.
So to have black people there
I was going to ask you.
Was a little bit different for them, but they would indulge in you. They would want to be a part of practically anything that you were doing.
That's dope. Okay. So you moved into the high school era, right? Let's talk about high school era from the 9th to 12th, right? Does it start 9th to 12th here?
Yes.
Okay, so how was that for you as growing up in the foster care without, your mom was your mom still around at that time?
Yes, my mom was alive. So the entire time my mom was trying to get us back. But like I said, it was already hard for her. She was dealing with schizophrenia, her medication, like anything could go wrong when it came to my mom in her mental health. I honestly, truly feel like she wasn't supported enough through her trying to, I guess my mom was healing on her own, So during that time, she was alive. She always went to visitations. She made a way for me and my siblings. I feel like, even though she wasn't able to get us back, I do feel like she made a way, and being strong, being resilient. She taught me things that I felt like created the person that I am. I feel like her and my dad, they were different, but they together created someone that was going to make a name for themselves. Freshman year, I was very involved in sports. I always was trying to find an outlet because I did deal with a lot when I was at home. So that was a bit hard for me. When I did find outlet, I gave it my all, 100%. So I was in BSU. I was trying to be in leadership. I was just trying to find a way to heal. I ended up finding more love for music, and that's kind of like what that was kind of the way that I ridden on, if that makes sense. Like that was like the wave I was trying to be on, was just getting into music and poetry and spoken word and just finding a way to express myself. Entering into my last very home, which was with the Jameses, I found a very stronger faith with God, and that kind of was like my base. Everyone knew on Sundays Jamie was going to church, so don't ask her to go out on Sundays. So it was that type of thing. And I loved finding my outlet. I loved healing because it came from a place of like, dang, like I'm tired of just going through it. Like it was just that. I was like, I'm tired of going through it. I want to heal. I want to be the best person that I can. And in high school, I think that was the place where I really just went off with it and thrived.
That's super dope. I can hear it in you. Like how strong you are as a person.
Thank you.
And it's just like this conversation, I know it's going to be dope. So 7 foster families, right? Let's kind of go back to why so many? Like why was it so many?
I do not feel like they were all equipped enough to deal with the trauma that I had. I lost my father, and I think I say that broke my mom, but that broke me too. It broke all of us. My two older siblings, they weren't my dad's children, but he took care of them as well. So for all of us, we were shocked. We didn't really kind of like know what to do.
Wow. So your last one, you say your last foster parents? So were they gave you that structure, or you kind of just found that? Like,
no, they definitely did. They gave me that structure. Every home had church in it, and they were church-based. So that's why I was like, this is like, there's a reason for everything. And that's what I truly felt like. I felt like even though they didn't have everything to actually help me with my healing journey, I do feel like I learned something from each and every one of them, how they went about their faith and how they interacted with people. And I just learned a few things, and I think that helped me. The James's home, it was structure. They prayed for me. They were there for me. They let me express myself if it was crying, if it was pain, if I had to scream. They allowed me to do that, and they didn't give up on me no matter how hard it was. And I think that showed me that they are people that are going to stay. They are going to be someone in my life that wasn't going to give up on me, and they showed that, and I just said it. So,
yeah. See, you hear like the stories with the foster care, right? You hear the stories where some kids didn't get that structure, right? They just keep going, bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. And every time you guys went to another foster, was your family, did y'all stay together?
Actually, no. After our second foster home, that's when me and my brother split. So we didn't stay together after that. My brother dealt with the foster system a little bit worse than I did. I kind of tried to take a positive look out of it, and I feel like the system failed my brother. So that's kind of like, there's a very big difference with me and my younger brother, because he had the hardest, and he dealt with mental health issues from my mother. And like I said, the foster parents did their best, but they weren't properly trained to actually deal with us and deal with our behaviors and the things that we were going through.
Got you. So your brother, how is he today? Do you guys have a relationship?
Yes, of course,
Okay, yeah.
of course. Me and my siblings, we only have each other. So when it comes to our relationship, no matter how, I guess, bad we are to each other, or the way that we treat each other, we know that we deal with hurt, we deal with pain, we I guess, heal differently as well. So sometimes it's hard to express like, dang, I'm just going through it. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard for that. But that's why we also do like family meetings type of thing, to where we all come together and we do a check-in like, hey, how are you doing?
That's dope.
Like, our mother, 5 years passing was October 26, 2018. And
Wow.
We all sat, we cried, we talked about her, we talked about how she made us feel and how she stood up for us, the things that she taught us. And I think that's where we come together and we're all on the same page, no matter what we've all been through.
Wow, that's amazing. Just amazing journey so far. Like, have you ever had a point in your life, like, why me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I going through this? Like, I want to talk about that part of it.
Yeah.
You're only 21 years old, right?
I am.
And you've been through everything. Like, you probably just giving me the surface of what you've been through.
Of course.
So, like, coming up, how did you like mentally hold that? At that young of an age, I can see a lot of people just breaking down. Like, man, I don't want to do this life no more. Like, where?
I have no idea. I always say if it wasn't for God, I don't know where I would be. My dad was a praying man. Like, he prayed over me and my siblings' life for as long as I can remember, waking up, hearing my dad pray. Like, that's how he had his relationship with God, which was praying. And I found myself doing that constantly, just asking God, just be here with me. Show me that I'm going to be okay, that me and my siblings are going to be okay. And I also always just ask him, please instill in me the skills and the necessary things that I need, so I am able to not provide for only myself, but provide for my siblings.
Wow.
I did. When I lost my father, I lost my mom. You know, I asked God, like, what did I do? Was I bad? I was like, I'll be good. Like, I was, you know, like 9, like, I'll be good. But then I was like, I know everything happens for a reason. And I know that even though I lost my parents, I also gained a lot of the things that they did, you know, the people that they were.
Right.
You know, I feel like my dad was also community. He was in the community. He had his own organization, and I watched that. I watched how everyone loved him and also indulged in the things that he was doing and the person he was. When it came to my mom was very liked, but she also taught me, stand your ground. Know who you are, and no one can tell you any different.
That's dumb, and I see where it is. So you get to get through high school. Now we're looking at colleges, right? Mm-hmm. And what made you go into the study?
Work.
Yeah, the study you went into. Like, what made you go into social work?
Mm-hmm. So basically, I chose social work because I wanted to stand in the gap for the people who stood in the gap for me, and I wanted to be that person. I wanted to deal with foster youth, and I want to kind of meet with them weekly. So I had a family specialist who met with me weekly, and I was like, I want to do that. And then I guess as I got older and I started to, wanting to find more of my purpose, I wanted to honor my parents. And I was like, to do that, I don't think being a family specialist is what you're supposed to do. That's not your purpose. And I stayed a social work major. I still am. And I also started doing things with communication. And I realized that telling me, my siblings' story, and also my parents is what I wanted to do. So I am a speaker and a motivational speaker, a foster youth advocate, and I do feel like that's my purpose. So in college, I do want to get my bachelor's, hopefully my master's, and my doctorate. I'm like, that's the goal. So my goal is my doctorate. My oldest half brother, he is a surgeon at Johns Hopkins Medical Center. Wow. So he was a role model that I wanted to be. And I guess that's why I still do school. And even though I am discouraged and I deal with my own things, I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing it until I'm done.
Wow. This is an amazing young lady, man. 21 years old. Yeah. Man, I swear, the more you talk, it's like, this girl been here before. You ever heard that before? Like, the old folks like, man, I swear, she been here before. So I like to get into, like, how are you right now with this world, okay, that we live in when it comes to social media, when it comes to just what females supposed to look like? Just you guys got a lot of pressure. Like, I feel like you guys as young adults have a lot of pressure. The things that they want you to look like, the things they want you to say. If you say anything else, it goes out of context. Like, how are you moving in this new era for you? Just like, how can you stay you, true to yourself? You know what I'm saying? Well,
that starts with knowing who you are and knowing who you want to be. And I feel like no matter how social media is or how society is, the only person I can be is me. You know, when it comes to look-wise or how you're supposed to uphold yourself, like, at the end of the day, I have respect for myself. So at the end of the day, I will hold my head up high no matter the circumstances. You know, when I was younger, I used to get bullied for my skin color. And I, as you can see, very dark toned. And I had to grow up to find a way how to love that. And now we're loved for our different skin tones and who we are. And I think that's what I thrive off of too. Like, I know who I am, and I was okay with my skin tone before. So I'm like, this is who I am. This is me. So that's what I love.
Okay. So that if y'all missed that, like, that main point is to love yourself.
Yes.
Right? Find out who you are. Now, don't worry about what all these filters people be putting on.
Yeah, and everything what everyone is saying. Yeah. You know who you are, so be that.
Love it. So if you can go back, I love this question right here, and talk to your younger self, what would you say to that person? What would you say to that little girl right now?
I would say no matter what they have in that book of you. So when I was on foster care, they had this packet, and it had everything on there about me, I guess, or about my parents or whatever. And I would say no matter what is on there, don't let them put you in a box, because I felt voiceless at some point. I felt like no one was listening to me or hearing me. And I think at some point I was allowing that to break me for a sec. And then I had to realize, like, come on, you was raised by two people who created a soldier. So be that.
Be that. So, I sent you some questions, right? So I like these questions because I just want to know, and I want the people to know more about you. Okay. What advice would you give to a other younger individual who have faced adversity pursuing in their higher education? Like they're in your shoes with foster care and going through every single thing, resilience, like everything is going at their head right now. What advice would you give them?
Well, I'm very known for saying this a bit, but don't let your past circumstances determine your future. You are the person that creates you are the person that writes your future. You are the person that makes those decisions and those choices. And whatever you do, thrive in it. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in what you feel like is your purpose.
Love it, love it. Okay, now it's something else that you told me about is that nonprofit. Can you speak on that nonprofit?
Mm-hmm. So over 15, probably 20 years ago, my dad created a nonprofit organization called For All People There Is Hope. And with that organization, I seen him feed homeless. I seen him give food to our neighbors and people down the street. And also the main things I remember as well was him doing Toys for Tots for kids. And I was able to be the person to knock on doors and say, hey, like, do you have any 6-year-olds or 4 through 6 or, whichever age group it is, and be able to give them presents. And that week prior, we were the ones wrapping the presents for them. Wow. So I was able to see that and see him impact our community a bit.
So that's where you're opening the nonprofit back up?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I wanted to find a way to do what he did and honor him, because I realized that the way that I'm going in life, I want to be more. I want to do more. And I didn't want to just help other people do their food giveaways. I'm like, I want to do the food giveaway. I want to be able to be the person in our community to talk with them and, express to them who I am and tell the stories of me and my siblings. And I also wanted to honor my mother, because she could, like I said before, she tried till the very end to get us back. So the nonprofit organization is in honor of my parents, and it strives and extends grace to foster youth as well.
Nice, nice. So if somebody want to just come in and join, how would they be able to join your nonprofit to help you out more, to get you out here to in Fresno County? Like, how could they do that?
I would either follow like our social medias, and we'll be creating like a volunteer sheet. So whoever comes in to want to help us, then we'll have all their information, or to like be able to call them back like, hey, this is what we're doing. Would you like to be a part? We've already had a few people already say like, hey, I want to sign up. So we're in the process of figuring all that out, so we can have people come in and be a part of what we're doing.
Man, that's super cool, man. Your dad sounds like a amazing guy. Like, I know you only had 9 years with him, and you seen all that in 9 years. Like, where did that come from him? Like, was his parents like that? Like, do you know that side of it?
No, not necessarily. I think it was something that my dad wanted to do. He had a passion for helping people, and I kind of took that with me, Man,
he's amazing. Sound like an amazing guy that he taught you all that by 9, and you still have that power in your mom.
Yeah, I have to hold on to it.
Yeah.
I hold on to memories, and that's kind of like what keeps me going when I feel at my lowest.
Man, okay. So looking ahead, what's your future for your nonprofit when you graduate? What year are you in right now?
I'm to my second year.
Second year, okay. So kind of look into the future of the nonprofit. Where you see it going?
Well, I'm hoping that we'll have our official own building to where people we are located at City Center, but our complete own to where everything is in one place, where the clothing is for them to get clothes or where the food is, they could grab food. We want everything to be in one place. And I think that's us being completely established, us being completely supported by our community, becoming more known, and also standing in the gap for foster youth and seeing those numbers go up.
And why do you think it's so hard for the parents to get their kid back from the foster cares, just in general? Like, why do you think it's so tough for them to get their child back?
I truly can only blame that on the system, and I think it's also the people that is in it. Sometimes everyone's heart is not there to reunify kids. It's if it's the foster parent, like they're wanting to adopt so fast or, whatever the circumstances are. I think that it's hard because they're not being advocated for, the parents. And even if they're dealing with mental health issues and stuff, where's the support for them?
Man, yeah, I always get the information on foster care, and I just don't understand it. Like, that's something where I think a lot of people need to kind of look into help,
Yeah, do your research and learn and figure out, figure out who that kid is, that youth is. Because at some point, I had a social worker who didn't do his, actual research, and he came to talk to me and my sister, and he basically was saying, like, we didn't want to see our mother, we didn't want to talk to her, just like a whole bunch of stuff. And we had to sit there and say, you're mixing us up with someone else. Like, we need you to fix that. And we're actually heard about it because we lost our mother. So. Yeah.
Luckily, you guys had a voice, though. Mm-hmm. Like, y'all stayed strong on that voice.
We had to be that voice, yeah.
Wow.
And, fight for what was right, what we needed. And we also had a foster care advocate, which is Miss Allison, who stood her ground when it came to making sure we had everything that we needed.
Wow, man. Hey, I just want you to know, Jamie, you're an amazing person. Like, you got so much just greatness ahead of you. Do not stop. You know what I'm saying? We have them days where we're like, man, I just don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. But God got your plan. Yeah. Like, all you got to do is just keep stepping.
Yeah.
So how can people find you?
So you can find me on Facebook as Jammy Harris, JammyHarris. Our Instagram is For All People There Is Hope, all together. And then we also have For All People Apparel. And that's how you can see what we are doing. Mm-hmm.
You guys got it. You heard it first from Jamie. I always like to ask this question before I end the show. Okay? Give me your definition of fear.
That is a good one. I guess my definition of fear is the things that are put against you that you're a bit scared of.
Last question. I want you to give some words to that person, that little kid, whoever it is, that's going to be watching this. Give them anything you want to give them, any inspirational words, whatever you want to give them right now. You got it.
Create a plan, no matter what it is. If you're set on something, create those steps to get there, but by all means, do what's necessary to become the best version of you.
Hey, you guys heard it first from Jamie, this amazing 21-year-old. She's doing the most. You heard her story. That's just a little bit of it. She's probably about to have a book come out and everything else, right? That is a wrap for Coach's Corner. And this is your host, the one and only Coach Cordell. Let's go. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much, girl. Welcome to Coach's Corner, a platform dedicated to giving students and young adults